is how it is here in the city of mystery. Tales from the realm of time. Just another day in the matrix. What will you decide? The choice is yours. But time is running out. Town City.
Savage truth. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. With the state of the world today, it's more important than ever to find the truth within the truth seeking. That is Jesus Christ, obviously, Yeshua. Anyway, I don't ever do channel announcements. I always get right to the info here. So I'm going to break the fourth wall with this reference only to say thank you to all the real ones. Always tune in. I'm starting to notice a lot of you in the comment section. I really appreciate it. Anyway, things you may have missed. We're going to get into some mind control, things I've covered but deeper into them, a few new things, and more. Weird predictive programming patterns if you're paying attention. Lies on the news, truth hidden in fiction. Movies as spiritual esoteric expressions. Check out the insane amount of effort that has gone into this ritual programming with these patterns I'm about to show you. The more and more I go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, I see mind control is really the one that keeps getting deeper, and eventually with the mark of the beast, which the whole world will be under that mind control. But it started with MK Ultra Project Monarch, the symbol being the butterfly. This particular mind control is all about trauma-based mind control, which you can see that they're doing on a mass level. Think about all the times they keep showing you images you don't want to see, or very traumatic images, even with this past week. This is literally what they do as trauma altar-based mind control. The butterfly is the mind control monarch symbol here with Jason Bourne. He's just spaced out, wondering who he is, staring at this butterfly picture. In The Matrix, when Neo's handler is just gaslighting him out of control about what's real and what's not. Check out the background, that butterfly right there. In the original Total Recall movie about planting false memories, you see the butterfly logo right here. Also in the movie Kingsman, which is also sort of about mind control, the CIA, an alternate identity, having to shift back and forth between alters in your mind about who you are. During this major reveal in the background, there's the butterflies right there. This is all part of a fragmented alternate identity, ties in with different dimensions, alternate timelines, multiverse. It's all about fragmenting identity. It's been a mass psyop that's been at work for a minute. Kingsman, and speaking of kings, there is this King Kong movie, which has Project Monarch. By the way, the word monarch, aside from butterfly, literally means king. Kingsman, King Kong, Project Monarch. Also, by the way, they put stuff like this in movies, so if you look up Project Monarch, you'll probably find a King Kong movie. Not the actual project, you'll have to search a little bit farther for it. But also with this mind control, King Kong Project Monarch is about Skull Island. Mind control, Skull Island. Taking over the mind. This pattern goes way deeper also with the Katy Perry space thing that you can decide if it's real or not. She, for some reason, decided she wanted to show you a butterfly. This is all Alice in Wonderland programming. Again, Alice in Wonderland, you'll see the butterfly. This is all literal trauma-based mind control altars with even trigger words, handlers, activating identities, being targeted to specific people, but also being done on a mass level to the entire public. Anyway, the whole world already under a they live style illusion. You can check out The Grand Illusion on my YouTube page for more about that. But one more and then I'm out. Project Butterfly in Peacemaker. Again, you see this butterfly with a literal super soldier who has trauma-based mind control into different identities. And even in this season, he's having to choose which dimension and which identity he wants to be. This predictive programming pattern will keep playing out, and you'll keep seeing more and more about dissociative identities. Basically, bipolar, schizophrenic, anything like that, demon manifestation, it's all about to pop off majorly. This is all tied to literal Manchurian Candidate type stuff, and when you look at things that have happened in the world, it kind of does make you wonder about Manchurian Candidates, sleepers being activated, altars in the mind, guard your own mind, the helmet of salvation. By the way, the guy on the train in Charlotte with that horrible act, he did say that he had something inside of his body that activated. Whether true or not, it definitely does exist in the real world. Also weird how Charlie Kirk and George Floyd both have the same birthdays also. They do say things are done by the numbers. Central casting, life is a stage. The Bible does basically say if it were possible, even the elect would be mind controlled in the last times, but it's not possible. Remember, there is hope in the madness. Yeshua the King. Peace out. Weird patterns that definitely aren't coincidence. Predictive programming. 4 movies at least that show this specific cube artifact that opens up dimensions with other beings. Is Metatron's cube, this Tesseract cube, the key to the bottomless pit of Revelation 9? Pixels, Transformers, Minecraft, and the Marvel franchise all show this very specific cube artifact as being key to opening dimensions. We know from Revelation 9 the bottomless pit will open. Does it have to do with Metatron's cube and this sacred geometry that they always say is literally a key to other dimensions, and they program all quantum computing and science is all based off of this geometry? Probably all ties into something real. Other patterns that are going to get exceedingly wilder, concluding with the most wild one ever. 2 movies where Keanu Reeves is traveling dimensions through phone booths. The Matrix, he's always traveling through phones and phone booths. As well as Bill and Ted, they travel through the phone booths. Even Doctor Who has this same kind of thing. And in the original Back to the Future script, instead of a DeLorean, it was a refrigerator box chamber, again because it all ties in with something real. This all ties in with the Cozy Rev Mirror and Project Looking Glass devices, all based off Fibonacci geometry that was based off of time travel or something in the mind that could see through other dimensions or other times or the spirit realm. The Institute also showed this same telephone booth-like thing. And also, speaking of Back to the Future and cubes earlier, the flux capacitor in Back to the Future is a cube. And even that logo, sort of like a Y, is the same geometry as a cube. They're showing you it's a cube, the key to other dimensions. Predictive programming and things like this, priming the mind with patterns since childhood, talking to the subliminal mind before you even knew what they were doing. And also things like hopscotch being the tree of life. Again, this is mental priming. Even in the movie Bill and Ted, they literally show you death in hell on the tree of life doing hopscotch. Literally the path to hell, tree of life, Kabbalah style. They're literally telling you. The playbook of Satan shown to you through repeated patterns. Spiritual programming rituals in the upside-down matrix, lies on the news, truth hidden in fiction. Inserting ideas into the collective conscious like time travel, messing with time, different dimensions, alternate realities, it really all has to do with the mind and alternate identities. Speaking of the mind, there are 2 movies where Ben Affleck wipes his own mind and then is searching his own set of clues. Paycheck and Hypnotic. 2 movies where Matt Damon has people go into the brain, wipe out and reset memories. 3 if you count Elysium, where they had the sleeper super soldier with the initials MK as an MK Ultra. The 3 movies, again aside from Elysium, it was Jason Bourne, that whole series about mind control and sleeper agents, and again the Adjustment Bureau. They literally are resetting people's minds in these movies, this pattern. Astrology-based demon casting. All movies are cast based on astrology, when they were born, what demons they connect to, what demons they can manifest through them and attract other souls through their ritual productions. Check out more of my predictive programming video recently on my YouTube channel. Also, through this symbology, they talk to the subliminal mind through cues or strings of words or certain activator words or phrases. Check out this subliminal imaging from the movie Pagemaster. Check out Macaulay Culkin's cartoonized foot position. It's in the exact shape as the Freemason square and compass. And again, also his name being Tyler. Tyler is a position in Freemasonry. This entire movie is nothing but a Freemasonry initiate ritual. And it all ties into a much larger, weirder, and esoteric weirdest pattern I've ever seen. Before I tell you the weirdest one in close, let me know in the comments if you've noticed any other mega patterns that they're predictive programming the masses with. The weirdest pattern of all, in 4 different movies, there's a pattern of somebody going through this very specific tunnel and then Christopher Lloyd being on the other side with some sort of change and a rainbow. You'll see this in Roger Rabbit when they go through this exact specific tunnel, which is the Griffith Observatory Tunnel in California. It leads to the gateway of the cosmos. All ties in with esoteric belief systems. But you'll see in Roger Rabbit, as soon as they go through this specific tunnel, on the other side, they get cartoonized, the entrance to Toonland, the rainbow, and then Christopher Lloyd is waiting right there. Aside from Roger Rabbit, you'll see this in Pagemaster. This exact thing, Macaulay Culkin rides through this exact same Griffith Observatory Tunnel, leading to the gateway of the cosmos, which then he's greeted by Christopher Lloyd and is cartoonized with the rainbow. In Back to the Future, Marty McFly in part 2, he goes through this exact tunnel again, and then on the other side of this tunnel, Christopher Lloyd is waiting there for him in the DeLorean, where he lets down a rainbow rope for him to climb up to the DeLorean, flying other dimension type of thing. And in Buckaroo Banzai, you see this again in the exact same tunnel with actually Christopher Lloyd driving through it this time. The ultimate weirdest pattern, I don't have time to deep dive in it now, but maybe I will one day. But they all have the 88 pattern, obviously Back to the Future with 88 miles per hour. Buckaroo Banzai, there's 88 on the car. The side of this car looks exactly like the DeLorean. Other time travel movies, again, I mentioned like Bill and Ted, they end up time traveling to the 1988 World Tour. Again with this 88 pattern with the time travel. This all has to do with the constellations, 88 constellations. Also 88 being related to the Lionsgate, which you'll constantly see as another theme through these movies, going through a Lionsgate. And in Buckaroo Banzai, Bill and Ted, and Back to the Future, you'll see the same electric chord pattern, because it all ties into actual dimensions and gateways, certain tones and frequencies. This all ties in with the Wizard of Oz somewhere over the rainbow, and also the reason Dark Side of the Moon with Pink Floyd has the rainbow on it. This is all tied into this one giant alchemical thing I'll do a deeper dive on some other time. But the insane amount of movies that have repeated this predictive programming pattern is wild. To find out more about this, or ancient patterns of elites hallucinating through electroshock, going through looking glass rituals throughout history, meeting with pharaonic jesters and machine elf entities, check out my YouTube channel. Until then, remember that Jesus, Yeshua, is the key out of this matrix, the door and the highest truth. Peace out. Another major predictive programming pattern is 9/23 or September 23rd. In Mad Movies, they reference this date or this week as being the end of the world in a bunch of different scenarios. I covered this 2 years ago. I'll leave the link at the end where you can check it out. Basically, I link it to the Feast of Trumpets and God's divine calendar. And with all the rapture talk that's been going on lately, this may tie in. Maybe this year, but one of these years, one fall, it's going to heat up. Also, perfect time for these blue beam strategies and technologies possibly to kick in as well. Things you may have missed. If you watched The Grand Illusion or Skinwalker Ranch or beyond Skinwalker Ranch, you've noticed the 1.6 gigahertz frequency anomaly along with electromagnetic microwave radiation anomalies. If you also notice, the Mad Hatter's hat has the 10 divided by 6 on it. 10 divided by 6 is 1.6. Weird, maybe a coincidence. The Looney Tunes frequency of doom Tomorrowland Tower of Sauron. Everybody in the Mad Hatter state while predictively programming the sky falling, which you can kind of see in this land of lost. You see the sky falling, the glass shattering, the highest glass ceiling shattering, the dimension breaking with the reptilians right there being freed. Also, Revelation, when the seal starts popping off, it does start with the sky falling, basically. Stars of heaven falling to earth. Bloody hail and fire. Speaking of fire, you may have watched how I've done some alchemy coverage about public rituals and the WWE and how there seems to be fire and ritualistic elements that fires in the cities that WWE is in. They just had an event in Paris, and I just had the inkling to check to see if any fires follow. Check it out. Another riot and fire. After all, the WWE is the Shin logo, or the Shin symbol, which is the fire symbol.
I light the world on fire.
Also, Shin is teeth. That is the other thing Shin is. You can also see the teeth like venom or like snake teeth drawing blood. Might need some water to put that fire out. Of course, your water bill is probably out of control like everybody else's because of the ungodly amount of water AI uses. And basically everybody's being ripped off, being charged the AI water costs. Oh well. Also, don't worry about the infrared eye contacts that lets people send coded messages even with their eyes closed. Secret communication with elites and reptilians. It's more like a free guy they live illusion in their head that you can't see. Secret society mode. And also there is the microchips in food, so that way it can be used against you. Check out this wild technology clip, then for some more episodes. See you at the end.
Exhaustively, the guise of mental health. I was interrogated, I was x-rayed, I was examined thoroughly. Then they took everything about me and put it into a computer when they created this model of my mind. Yes, using that model, they managed to generate every thought I could possibly have in the next, say, 10 years, which they then filtered through a probability matrix of some kind to to determine everything I was going to do in that period. So you see, maybe I was going to leave the army with 12 monkeys into the pages.
Mind-machine interfaces will have many applications in both civilian and military life. But there are those who believe that this same technology could also be used by DARPA as a new form of mind control. Like their counterparts at the CIA, DARPA-funded researchers have spent decades investigating how the human mind can be altered. In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora, which studied the possibility of using microwave radiation to control human behavior. The project reportedly ended in 1969, but DARPA's investigation of how machines can affect and possibly control the brain continues to this day.
There are explicit programs of DARPA to read and write to human brains. The ultimate technological achievement that would fall into this realm of mind control and direct human-machine interface that DARPA may well want to keep secret.
In the near future, DARPA may possess the technology to remotely control the human mind. But as concerning as that may be, according to some scientists, a more permanent kind of mind control technology is looming. And it involves modifying the human brain by altering the human body's DNA.
The future of mind control, and the future being right now because these experiments are being done,
What if I told you reality was encoded with invisible, mirror-like watcher technology that you can't even see that's always been there? This ex-NASA worker even has an article about it here. Shape-shifting, invisible devices. This definitely reminded me of the They Live frequency technology that has the whole world under mind control basically in a frequency simulation. Things appearing differently than they really are. The movie They Live also has an elite agenda goal for 2025, which if you're new to Earth is right now, by the way. Also with all of these agendas, Agenda 2045, probably related to the mark of the beast. Wearables and implantables merging with technology and becoming immortal. Also, Ready Player One was set in the year 2045, where they found salvation in this digital oasis. Living inside the Antichrist, literally. Smart city, body of internet, everything connected mode. I go into all this stuff on my channel, on YouTube. This Judge Dredd police state technocratic beast system is coming fast. Body of the internet, internet of everything, smart city connections. Also, iRobot was set in the year 2035. And the iRobot robots are already scheduled to be on the streets before then, basically. A lot of things are related to this that I go into on my channel. Things like time travel, light bending mirrors and wormhole technology that reflect the future. Time mirrors that go backwards, which are being used with smartphones. Also, do we live in a giant clock? I go into other Matrix hood illusions like solid holograms. Kind of like the Marty Jaws, except it might actually get you. Also, sneaky ways the Matrix spies on you, like power lines, things like air fresheners, ACs, and other stuff. Something interesting about time and infinity. Also, the 8 as a symbol for infinity. They Live came out in 1988 from a book called 8 in the Morning, where it said 8 hours sleep, 8 hours play, 8 hours work. 8 is also related to the sun, which is the analemma, which time is related to the sun and the sun analemma. This is all connected. The hourglass is the same shape. Also, this infinity hourglass is the same as the metaverse and the Neuralink symbol. 88 miles per hour to a new altered timeline. And even the sideways 8 as a monarch butterfly, which has to do with mind control. I'll get more into that in the future. Have you noticed search results are intentionally buried and made harder to find? I'll give you an example. There is a skyscraper called the Spy Scraper, which basically the NSA is believed to spy on everybody with. Sonic espionage. That means spying through listening, basically. But if you look that up, you're going to get a song title. Song and movie titles to bury lots of valid searches that people would do. Gonna wrap it up in a sec, but I also go into how a lot of academia is just jargon, big words for esoteric and occult terms. If things are feeling less and less real, it may have to do with Rudolf Steiner's quote about erasing people's souls with medicine, and this whole populace being under pharmakia, witchcraft mind control, in conjunction with hypnosis technology. Also tying into CERN's Atlas in Wonderland, complete with Alice rings. All things bridging other dimensions into this one. That's why things feel wild. I find it wild how easily the eyes and brain can be tricked and deceived. Your own brain is probably lying to you. If you don't believe me, look up the Ames window illusion. A wild illusion. Your brain is telling you you're seeing something different than you are. Gonna bounce for now, but that's all in my unpod, The Grand Illusion. And remember, hope is in God's word, the living, ultimate, empowered artifact, the mirror that tells you who you are. If you forget, if this world disillusions you or attempts to mind control you, the word of God can be trusted. See you next time on The Savage Truth. Is your DNA being hacked into intelligent magnetic fields and reverse you new mirror organisms? Truth Plug is back with a gram. 1 gram of DNA storage. Scientists have done this, and a gram of DNA can store 225 million gigabytes. DNA is nature's greatest storage device. Scientists have done lots of tests where computer code has been planted and retrieved from DNA. If you're paying attention, that means putting things in and taking things out. Digital storage. They even planted malicious computer code and viruses implanted in DNA, and it affected a computer digitally. Now think about how that could affect humans. Could a computer virus actually affect a human body somehow? So real science with articles and also thoughts that tie in, like a computer making a human sick or transmitting some sort of virus or DNA corrupting, implanting, or taking out code inside the DNA tech. Not only synthesize computer code to and from DNA, but scientists have also used electricity to command DNA, telling it what to do, command. I've covered this before. You can check out some of my unpod on my YouTube channel. Magnetobiology is a fancy word for a science that studies the effect of magnetic fields on all life and living organisms. And there's a whole esoteric side of it too, because life, all of it, is based on biochemical reactions, and magnetic fields control biochemical reactions. Magnetic fields, whether natural or induced. Intelligent magnetic fields. Magnetic fields control and influence all reactions of all the kingdoms and phyla of every species on Earth. And everything in nature is affected by it, and all have unique responses, which is part of the study of magnetobiology. Everything from biological clock to the internal compass for animals migrating, or humans, or instincts in humans, or even this whole cell phone grid all affect everything. Technology even being able to make and move magnetic fields. By the way, in the ever-changing field of science, which TikTok has an intentional propensity to never be able to keep up with, even though you post articles in your videos, but science has discovered a new form of magnetism. Science constantly learning new things and always being updated. What will the textbooks, even in a few years from now, say about everything? Probably look a lot different, especially with the role of AI and quantum technology, and these giant megabrains at work with these spiritual agendas behind them. Anyway, the effect of magnetic fields on human health, functioning, and spiritual awareness, or even brain capability as a whole, is all subject to magnetic fields and frequency. Even DNA is frequency. Everything is frequency. Hopefully your DNA won't be used to create mirror life. Hopefully none of these data banks have yours either. This Twilight Zone but real scientific report of a new form of life called mirror life, using mirror reflected building blocks. A reverse genetic copy, kind of like a mirror image. Scientists are all terrified of this and are all warning against it, saying things like even mirror bacteria would evade human immune mechanisms. They say mirror life will change everything, in a bad way. It's a deep and weird rabbit hole, also with implications like the reverse you, like how there was Flash in the reverse Flash. They could use this to have a complete reverse you. Not even a copy of you, but a reverse you. All kind of weird. As is time mirrors, which they've also discovered, which basically the time waves have been seen completely reversing. Discovered also right around the same time that the Southern Ocean's waves were reversing. Probably unrelated, I'm sure. Truth Plug is a way to say it might be like that one day, and kinda already is, because the system has a habit of trying to bury it. For more on this, and the deep truth of the Matrix that's hard to find, or how to escape it, follow my YouTube channel, Savage Truth. In close, mankind and the powers that be are just doing too much, basically. Trying to be like God, and playing with forbidden things, all with the common themes of DNA, frequencies, and invisible energies, and war. War on the human gates from the gates of hell, but they will not prevail. The name above all names, Jesus, will not only help you escape the Matrix, but also help save you from your villain era. I'll be back with some more fire. Peace out. Wild spiritual technology, ancient spirits re-emerging, the world's changing fast. The awakening is happening, the illusion is being shattered, and revival is on the way. The end times are coming. How are you spending your time? Even researching or videos you're watching? Does it add any value to the more than just "did you hear about this" type of videos? Granted, sometimes that has its place to know what's going on in the world, but if you look back and reflect at the past couple of days, the past week, what have you actually learned? Is it drawing you closer to the Messiah? Is it growing you in life? Or is it just a never-ending carrot stick, tree of life cycle chasing, basically? Anyway, stay encouraged. See you next time on The Savage Truth.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!
That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Agents of the Matrix only exist to make me like them. I won't be like them. I won't be like them.
No.
Faith is what you make it, only exists to be more like him.